picked Tai Lu when Tai Lu were the ones who picked into it. And also, just looking at their maps overall, Vertigo, they got an 80% win rate over 5 maps. I'm excited to see if Rare Atom can put up a better fight than a 16-11 scoreline like we saw yesterday. Tai Lu only got 10, so I guess that's a slight improvement. But enough of my rambling, as we will be heading into the first round of the first map. It is, of course, Lynn Vision starting on that T side, as it is their pick. And they've got a smoke and a flash and a P250 to work with. On the flip side, Rare Atom, they've decided not to go for any utility here, which is always a bold move on Vertigo, regardless of the round. And Mercury looking to try and start things off, but instead it's Kaze getting dinked from the bottom of a ramp.
A tough pill to swallow early on, getting dinked from the bottom of A ramp, but I'm sure it'll be a moment in time for him. There seems to be plenty to write home about both these two sides, and there's the opening frag. JamYoung goes aggressive inside of middle and takes down Starry, where Starry found so much success against Rare Atom yesterday on this very map. It was that middle area in which Starry was having an obscene amount of control, and as a result, an obscene amount of kills, so to get him down early is certainly going to be a very, very valuable reward. Rare Atom now with the advantage, but because the T's are able to just death ball their way into one of these sites, maybe that advantage isn't quite so pressing as it might seem. They're starting to take a little bit of ramp control now here over towards A, and so are the CTs. They're going to look to try and re-aggress onto this one, rotating a third player in. Behind the tarpaulin, Mercury lies and waits for these players to emerge from elbow, where Messiah and Kaze are both looking, and there's the first of those frags. In goes the smoke, but they're trying to walk out ahead of it. That's 2 frags found already, and it's just Nelly and Zaka remaining, with Mercury sitting at the sandbags. This is a horrendous crossfire to try and fight into for Lynn Vision, and it just is not working. Nelly with a lot to do and not a lot of space to do it, and as a result, he gets taken down.
That's a great 3K in the pistol there from JamYoung. And, well, as that second round comes to the fray, it'll be interesting to see if we'll get a force buy out of Lynn Vision. But without the bomb going down, it seems highly unlikely. I like the fact that Kaze doesn't try and re-aggress towards ramp as well after he gets dinked. He falls away, make sure they don't give up that man advantage. And Starry is actually the first to fall. And, oh my goodness, they've actually gone for the force buy. Well, it's 4 Deagles, a Tech 9, and a boatload of utility. A couple of pieces of Kevlar coming through as well, as Rare Atom might be getting a little bit more than they bargained for on this opposition side. As Mercury takes good forward A ramp presence, he's going to be in the prime position to deal with pistols on an SMG, but it's the B bomb site that's currently in contention. And do we have Starry in his classic lurk role? It looks like he might be trying to do just that, but no impact just yet, as the B play still looks like it was on the card, but now a rotation back under through connector to an A ramp play.
It's a slow burner, this one. Lynn Vision taking all the time in the world to try and get some control of this under area. For now, they're trying to get their way up the ramp, and they've used a bit of a weird smoke to try and obscure their arrival. It does obscure them as much as getting in towards scaffolding, but any further than that, and they are, well, they're in some trouble, shall we say. As it is, there goes the Molotov in towards sandbags. That will reveal Mercury, and he loses his life in the process. Westmelon on the board nice and early, and a second frag to go and complement that as well. A lovely one, D. And now there's more to be done. It's not over yet. It's still very, very much in the mixer. As Zaka takes a little bit of spam damage from Advent with that FAMAS. The rest of the gang are now trying to do a bit of more damage through the smokes too. Spraying on in, but the bomb has been planted, so the clock is ticking. There are no kits on the side of Rare Atom. They've not got a lot of time to work with, so time is of the essence. Press in. Try and take your fights with these aggressive rifles that you've got. That's another great deagle shot from Starry. He eliminates one more from the equation. Mosiah gets 2 out of it now, with 1 player on low HP directly on top of the site as well. This looks like it could be a prime opportunity for LVG to press through and take away the money, I guess. Oh my good lord, how have they made this happen? I thought that Rare Atom were definitely going to try and take some of those weapons out of their hands, but instead they just donate some over.
You're never going to believe this, but that is the second time on Vertigo in a row that Lynn Vision Gaming have won the force buy. They did it back yesterday, they bullied Rare Atom out of the bomb site, and they've done exactly that again. Although I believe it was over on the B site that they hit last time. They don't need B this time through. Westmelon lands 2 stunning 1-deeks to open up the top of A ramp. and Rare Atom are going to be kicking themselves. Now, the Battle of the Four Spies has begun. Another set of upgraded pistols has been brought up by Rare Atom here. And we saw great success from Wings Up against Rare Atom under such circumstances. Can Rare Atom replicate this themselves? Another boost up towards the exact same spot that Rare Atom poached up last time. Will Envision Gaming be aware of this play? X-Pro down towards the bottom of the ramp. He's going to edge his way up slowly. He needs to be so careful of the 5-7 and even spams their exact spot, just landing ever so short. As those bullets go into the concrete, defending the bottom booster's knee.
Patience, 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 patience. That's all that's happening here for Rare Atom. They don't want to give anything up, and in fact, they're going to take something. X-Pro falls victim to Kaze. Now, ow, Advent! Okay, a nice shot. That can make up for a fair amount, but you've got to find some more. Panic spam coming on through, but unfortunately not really connecting with much of a target. Kay's looking for more with his pistol, but it's not being found. The Galil instead sprays through the smoke and catches Advent. Now JamYoung looking to try and get up close and personal. Maybe a headshot or two with his Desert Eagle. We've seen how good he can be with it. A couple of wild shots, but in the end, they all go wanting because Lynn Vision just gets smoked out of the sight by not only the smoke itself, but the firepower too. That is very, very clean from Rare Atom, despite the fact that they didn't have any rifles coming into this round.
So that's back-to-back Four Spy victories here. And so the Battle of the Four Spies is still firmly underway. Would you look at that? Starry is straight back in with an AK purchase, and whilst his teammates don't have enough money to second with rifles, they could still very much invest into pistols, and that is exactly what they're going to do. Lynn Vision do not want to be the ones to lose this Four Spy war, and Rare Atom also don't want to be caught off guard. This is where they stumbled early on. It was 7-2 to Lynn Vision, as Rare Atom got absolutely rolled on their CT side, but it's JamYoung in middle doing the rolling this time. 4 kills to his name. Can he find the ace? Yes, he can. Oh my goodness, JamYoung. An incredible performance in towards middle early doors, and Lynn Vision this time are the ones absolutely kicking themselves. They couldn't do anything there. Great util usage and great spray control from JamYoung.
That is absolutely sensational, and it sends Lynn Vision back to the dark ages financially as well. Look at how little they have to work with. $2,000 is the highest amount that any one player currently has at their disposal. Lynn Vision are going to be conceding another here, surely, as they go back onto the pistols. This has been great from Rare Atom so far, clearly learning from a number of their mistakes yesterday. Sire getting into a bit of an awkward engagement. Mercury also losing his life, so that's not the ideal way to start this round. You really want to try and keep as many players alive as possible. These are the freebies that you don't want to be giving away. As it is, Starry is going to go and recollect that bomb, and he's going to wait for his teammates to maybe try and get up onto the site here or something. Do something a little bit fruity. They want the bomb plant as much as they can here, because that gives them the extra $800 they might need into the next round too. So it's all to play for. Kaze is surely about to spot one player out. There's also a player on towards the back pillar. He's going to be activated any moment. That player, of course, is Advent, just lying in wait. HE grenade should do a hefty chunk of damage. Advent still waiting, still probing, still looking for something, still waiting for the call to come in when these guys are finally going to be flooding the site. There's 3 CTs over here at present, and they're all going to be having their sights trained on this cross. There's 1, there's 2, and there's Advent with the 3rd. It's nice and easy. 3 players, 3 frags, and Rare Atom clean up.
Yeah, not only do they clean up, they've saved over all 3 AKs from the previous engagements, which means they are decked out when it comes to equipment and weaponry. He's comfortably buying an AWP with $5,500 left in his back pockets. It's rare that the CTs are allowed to get this good of a start in terms of economy, but when you win 2 Four Spies and JamYoung gets an ace like a madman in one of the previous, meaning nobody has to go down for it, yeah, that's when the CT economy starts to build up a little, and Lynn Vision are going to want to win this round, otherwise things could spiral very quickly out of control for them on their own map pick. This is the worst start they've had on Vertigo, their comfort pick this entire tournament. Rare Atom are looking to deal even further pain, just to add insult to injury. Advent, that's a gorgeous position up close and personal, and a blinded Nelly tries to get the hell out of dodge. He's unable to, and Kaze, there's no way he still wins that engagement. Starry looking dazed as the stars glimmer around his forehead. He's not taking mid-control today, and Rare Atom are reading Lynn Vision like a book. X-Pro last alive 1v5, and it's just not going to happen, is it, Buffers?
It certainly doesn't feel like it. The in-game leader of Lynn Vision is going to be seriously hard done by in this situation. His team have all fallen around him. Early B pressure towards the ramp from the CTs as well has not really been something that's characteristic from Rare Atom when they played this map against Lynn Vision yesterday. They were pretty passive towards the B site, and it was exploited over and over again. So to have something here where they're going aggressively on it from the CTs, that makes for a decent change of pace, and you could see that it quite clearly did catch Lynn Vision off guard. 2 kills out of it, I think. And that's all that you need to close a round such as this. You drop the bomb in an awkward position, you find the map control that you need, and then you just suffocate room away from the T side, who already, as it is, want to go towards the A ramp naturally, because this map is just A ramp simulator. So why not? And they're forced them towards that engagement, and X-Pro now just tries and hides out over here, so he can have a moment of respite as the clock ticks on down. I don't really think that Rare Atom are going to be too concerned with trying to hunt him down either. I think their money is in a position where they just want to bolster their own finances to ensure longevity of winning ways. And just this AK in X-Pro's hands isn't really going to give them much in terms of a full buy for Lynn Vision. So I don't think there's much of a necessity to go hunting it down.
Yeah, there's no point in losing one of those AKs on the CT side as well, because obviously they've got the money to reinvest, but they won't be able to get another AK in their back pocket. X-Pro does manage to keep over that AK of his own, but it's not going to do a great amount of good as nobody can buy it with him. I think Lynn Vision have probably learnt their lesson now about consistently forcing, and they want to build up a bit of bank balance so they can go for an all-out gun round. We've not seen an all-out gun round from them just yet. They really had to skimp on the utility in the previous, and also they didn't really get to do anything because Advent had a perfect flash, managed to decapitate one on the boost towards B and caught one as he was running away. That was Nelly. And Starry also messed up quite badly in the mid-engagement. But just looking at what we've seen so far, Rare Atom have been playing phenomenally, and Lynn Vision this time are the ones getting caught out of position. Only 6 rounds into the game, though. Plenty of time for things to readjust. And with a pesky 4 Deagle investment with an AK in tow, Lynn Vision are looking to cause further carnage just like they did in the force play round 2. Kaze, though. Dangerous forward position, the grenade should do some damage, and that Molotov will keep all of those pesky T's at bay. So far, so good for Rare Atom again on their defense, not letting things slip like they did so consistently with entry frags in their previous engagement.
It's more of the same. The discipline's there, right? They're not letting it slip, like you say. So it's just all about discipline for Rare Atom, and that seems to be what they have in spades in this game, something they definitely didn't have a great deal of yesterday. And there's Kaze. His impatience is actually rewarded there. They go out for the wide swing, they find the pick, and that's one of the Deagles taken down. It's X-Pro, of course. Another option just presenting itself. Takes the shot anyway with the assistance of Mercury. He's got another friend here as well. I think that's Mosiah as well, so no worries on all of those fronts. Everyone's got it sorted, everyone's got it cooked up, everyone's got it cleaned. They've got the Dettol out, and they're currently wiping the floor with Lynn Vision Gaming.
Oh, and that's a nice kill there from Advent as well. And the bomb has fallen off the map. Thankfully, it goes back into the open arms of Nelly, but Advent is doing all right here. Finds himself another 2 quick kills. That is just against the Dews, admittedly. And yeah, Zaka picked up the AK off of the dead X-Pro, but it didn't really get much done as Kaze spins back on in. He's got support from his teammates, and that entire A push is flattened. Now, again, it's not going to be a full gun round for Lynn Vision because X-Pro, with his AK investment, had no money after surviving until he's forced down onto the Galil. Now, the Galil, it's a great weapon. It's better than the FAMAS, but it's not as good as an AK. With this in mind, and Lynn Vision pull themselves together with the good weaponry that they do have in their steed, and finally punish Rare Atom, who have already got more rounds than they did yesterday on their CT side. Advent is a madman towards B ramp today, and JamYoung sealing the deal. Lynn Vision, what the hell is going on? This is a completely different team. I know that Rare Atom have had their warm-up game, their warm-up series, but Lynn Vision shouldn't be looking this rusty. This is looking like Rare Atom did against Lynn Vision over on Nuke.
Yeah, this isn't looking pretty at all, as a matter of fact. Lynn Vision do look like a bit of a different team. And there is something to be said for the losers bracket. It does happen in a number of esports. I mean, esports that have been using losers bracket for a long time, like Dota and Call of Duty, as much as I might hate to reference it, have this thing where you have a losers bracket run. You kind of get going because you play more matches and you warm into the tournament a bit more. And whilst there are only 4 teams here, you can have that moment where you kind of get warmed up into things, start feeling the way that other teams are playing. You get your rematch, and then all of a sudden, after losing earlier on, you stomp them the next time around. It just becomes a lot easier to play a second time around if you've played more matches. You're already warm, you're already in the mood for Counter-Strike, you're already doing well, you've got confidence on your side. That's the kind of thing that seems to be happening right here, right now as well, because they're not only out-aiming, they're completely out-maneuvering on what yesterday was a fantastic map pick for Lynn Vision, where they demolished Tyloo and they demolished Rare Atom on this map as well.
Yeah, it ended up being 16-11. I spoke too soon. Rare Atom had 6 on that CT side, I believe. But that no longer really matters because they've outdone themselves and they are completely outdoing Lynn Vision. They need to take multiple timeouts here to work out what's going on because still their economy is in shambles. They've got 1 kill on 2 players and nobody above 4 as we head into round number 9. This is not the same Lynn. I can't even say their name anymore. This is not the same Lynn Vision that we saw yesterday, and Westmelon as well. He's just absent. Westmelon had a field day on both maps yesterday against the side of Rare Atom, and he's not even their top performer usually. As I said already, Zaka, he did have a pretty off day yesterday, looking to do the same again. A 1.17 rated AWPer/entry fragger. As a single kill, he's not created any space for the team, and he looks completely absent here again. Good idea from kaze to fall away as the pistols rush towards his position, but Mercury needs to be careful not to get caught with util in his hand. He doesn't, instead expending it and forcing Westmelon further down that short side of ramp. And as kaze chucks further utility over towards where those T's are standing, they are getting bullied by just this flurry, this torrent of nades and mollies, but it's Mosaic to start things off. He's looking for more, he's gone for the spray down and does get 2 to the tally as Mercury finds 2 more to his name, leaving poor old Westmelon at 4. 2 rounds back-to-back, George. The Rare Atom have found a 4 alive round. This time it might be against the Pistols, but, you know, the story's the same. There is nothing from Lynn Vision right here.
Yeah, they're not rewriting anything new, are they? The script hasn't been flipped as of yet. And Lynn Vision, like you mentioned, there's just nothing to write home about. There's nothing of any excitement. That characteristic mid-control that they were operating so well with yesterday just seems to be entirely absent right now. They're not enabling Starry to go aggressive towards middle like he was, or even having any late-round lurks towards middle. Instead, he's rolling with the pack, and they have Westmelon, I believe it was, just watching passively the middle at that point. Now, I believe this is Starry who's come up the ramp, up the ladder, and managed to find a frag, with the assistance of Westmelon's flashbang as well. But that's not all. They're now going to try and re-aggress on middle. It's a late round version of it, and finally they're going back to what worked. Now, the interesting thing will be, have Rare Atom found a response to this? They must have realized that yesterday they were getting absolutely bodied by this type of play. So today, it might be a different approach, and it seems that they've just let them have it. Just let them have it and let them come into the site. Messiah gets a great frag with the AWP towards A, but unfortunately that's not where the attack is going to wind up. Westmelon once again with the flashbang assist, this time from Zaka, manages to get 1. Now trading it back is Mosaic. He's going to find 1 on the AWP, but also pays for it with a good chunk of his own HP. Now, what has he got in terms of a response for this? I dare say very little, because he has that AWP and wants to ideally save it. So he'll be looking to get the hell out of Dodge, live to fight another day, and carry that AWP over, despite the wealth of finance that Rare Atom have.
Well, if he stayed up in middle, he would actually have control of both of the dropped AWPs on the map. But he doesn't want to risk giving 2 AWPs over to Batista. Not that they would need 2 AWPs in the first place, but they bagged 1 on Starry regardless. Now, something I wanted to say earlier, you pointed out Vertigo is often an A-ramp simulator. That's not what we saw from Lynn Vision. Arguably, Lynn Vision's success came from the B bomb site, came from middle, and we've not really seen them push the affair on B or middle at all this game until the round we've just witnessed. So I'm glad that Lynn Vision are finding their footing, finding their form back from what we saw from them yesterday, because they were confident going A ramp, don't get me wrong, but that's where Rare Atom were allowed to come back when they started pushing the affair on A ramp more. They went from being 7-2 down to being 8-2 at the half. Or 8-2, 8-7 at the half, after a lot of those A hits were retaken promptly by Rare Atom.
I think one thing that can set you apart when you play this map is, of course, the B side, because everyone's got an A ramp setup, and most of them are pretty similar. It's just about having to out-aim the scenario. Now, meanwhile, over towards B, you have a lot of variance. You can do different things, and as a result, you get this different kind of playstyle, shall we say. And I think Lynn Vision have a good read on what is required of them over towards that B side. And they seem to be able to do well with it. Also, it's targeting a weakness over on the Rare Atom side. Advent is one of the two B players, and in fact, the one player that seems to anchor the site more than any other. The rotating players are the ones that seem to be the ones that don't really anchor. You know, you'd want maybe someone like Mosaic over on that site, or maybe like a JamYoung or a Mercury or something. Someone who's got the potential to anchor down that site for a long period of time. Instead, you have Advent, who plays over by this back pillar, which is the anchor position, and you look to try and get him to do the multi-fragging. It doesn't always go according to plan. Now, Zach has found JamYoung over towards B. Advent's position is obviously well known, but there's a litany of flashbangs that are enabling him to nearly escape. Now, Westmelon looking to go aggressive behind AC, but Mercury's been on this flank for a very, very long time, and now it's finally paid off. A huge investment to be made, and now it all returns, plus the interest. X-Pro with the bomb plant has to go for it. It's a 1 versus 2 for him. The head will pop up shortly. This is no means an easy feat for X-Pro.
No, he's completely sandwiched here. The only grace is that kaze has an AWP, so if he misses that opening shot, he can still isolate these jewels. Oh, but he's not going to get the opportunity to isolate anything as Mercury strikes first, and that is impeccable stuff on the rear flank. Great stuff from kaze in that round to find a 3K in the first place, making it all a possibility. And that's 9-2 now for the Rare Atom squad. Now, something else I did want to point out quickly is JamYoung, as much as he's 14-3 now, he was 14-1, and this is just the best we have seen him play, de facto, since we started this tournament. And this is the JamYoung that we've been missing. We've finally been gifted in Boppers. And not only that, kaze is fragging out of his mind too, and Mercury and Mosaic, even Advent, they're playing their part to perfection. And if they can keep this up throughout the rest of the CT half and even onto the T side, then we might just see the first upset of Lynn Vision for this tournament so far.
Yes, they are indeed doing things finally now, and Mercury is continuing on with that fine form. Look at the fragging output from Rare Atom. It is much better and much more well-rounded than it was previously. That's a messy gunfight for Mercury, but he still gets the frag out of it, and that's the main thing. The trade is good for the CTs. They're removing weapons from the T's hands, thinning out their utility as well, whilst also maintaining their man advantage. So, a 4 versus 3 now, here in round 12, makes it a little more complex, but Zach is still going to be trying to probe in towards this A site. But thankfully, Rare Atom are not falling foul to the same traps that befell them yesterday. Rare Atom kept on going into these aggressive situations in rounds such as these, where they would get themselves inevitably caught out. Now they're playing patient. They're waiting for their prey to come to them. They're setting the traps. They're getting themselves bedded in, and it is working oh so very nicely for Rare Atom.
Yeah, Lynn Vision, again, trapped off by a Molotov, and Advent, again, he's had some great impact this game already. Sits patiently as that B-side anchor, blinding both of the T's with his flashbang. I don't think they even saw him walk over towards Quad, but it's not going to matter now. They know he's there, but kaze is here first, and oh, that's a nice double peek, but JamYoung is in the nick of time. Advent spins out from his quad position as Nelly is completely isolated, pincered between 3, and Rare Atom find double digits in round number 12. This is impeccable. Rare Atom are playing lights out Counter-Strike, and this is the Rare Atom I remember seeing at Valencia. This might be online, this might be against another regional team, but Lynn Vision destroyed them yesterday, and they're out for revenge. And against the team who have a lot of history with this qualifier. Lynn Vision definitely deserved to be there last year, but they might have their opportunity snatched away from them fair and square by Rare Atom this time round.
Indeed, they might just. A quick timeout taken, and Lynn Vision ready to go again.
Oh,
This
look at the
time,
money.
yeah, it's Tech 9's. It's not looking bright, is it? Tech 9's armor, a good chunk of utility to go with it, but this has to be like a set play here. They need to have some kind of idea about what they're going to do with this play. They need to have some kind of foreknowledge, basically, is what I'm trying to say. They need to have an idea, have a plan, because without a plan, this is going to go very south very quickly. And already, the early aggression on the B ramp, which we didn't see out of Rare Atom yesterday, the aggression was just nowhere to be seen, really. And as a result, Westmelon and the rest of the gang now being hesitated up. They're being stopped. They're being stuck in their tracks. They're still going to go and commit to this B idea, though. Advent's early aggression has now subsided. He's back inside of this B site. He's back inside of this B site, for the most part, completely alone. Now with all the flashbangs coming in, he smokes his position. There's the assist from JamYoung, finally covering his brother in arms and making sure he lives to fight another day. Advent still sitting inside of a smoke, trying to wait for a player to push on through it. Still tapping to try and find damage, but Starry's too quick on the response. Now, pushing forward, pushing through. Westmelon grabs another. There's the trade finally back from JamYoung, but Zaka with the recovered A1S is going to make some damage happen. Just one player is all that remains, but it is a 1 versus 1. Orp versus 11 HP Deagle, now turned on to the M4A4. Starry just waiting for somebody to cross into his crosshair. That somebody is kaze. He prays on the right moment, and the Orp is recovered. The Orp is his. He finally gets away with it.
On just 11 HP as well. That's a masterclass from Starry in the clutch. Cutting down the last two players in his stead. Very unfortunate set of circumstances there for Rare Atom, but a lifeline for this weary Lynn Vision squad. They have had a drought of rounds so far. And Advent, again, credit to him. His utility is well placed. It's just there is so much utility by the end of that fray that the pistols thrive in the chaos. They have so much more maneuverability, and you can fire off a lot of shots whilst running and still randomly hit targets through that smoke. In the meantime, the spray comes in from Mosea, and he's going to find 2 to the tally on the gun round, as it appears that Lynn Vision have lost the spark they had when they only had pistols in their hands. And of course, their movement is severely depleted, so no fast swings as they're both cut down by Mosea instead. Westmelon tapping away at the man behind the site. That will, of course, be Advent as he retreats behind his smoke again, leaving nothing for Westmelon to even shoot at. Kaze, forced off behind a smoke of his own, though, gets blinded by someone as Westmelon catches Advent.
That's a nice shot from kaze around the side. There's 2 players now remaining, both of which low on HP. But that's a nice shot from Zaka. All the kaze has to do is land some shots with his P2K here. Just one on either of the 2 players, and that will be all she wrote for this night. That's an AK quickly picked up. Now he's got the advantage in the 1 versus 1. The one-shot weapon has to peek into him, or at least buy some time. Out goes the flashbang. It's not going to do enough. No bullets left in the AK-47, but he doesn't need all of them. It is going to be an 11th round for the CT side. It's a nice clutch, a 2 versus 1 from kaze, but the damage was done early on in that round, where they finally went through it and they just pushed through all that pain that they were going to be experiencing by making sure they did the damage early. That left it in a situation in which it was clutchable. Rare Atom, still with the discipline, still with the due diligence on this CT side. They are taking Lynn Vision to school, despite that round looking so close.
You know what's even more upsetting for Lynn Vision there? The AWP does 20 damage as it hits him through the box. That is very, very upsetting stuff. And, well, Rare Atom, they're now playing for a 12-3 half, and they've got the advantage. Expro, the IGL, has no utility to his name. Zaka on a single flashbang with that big green of his, and we know just how important utility has been in this game so far. Ellie will extinguish the Molotov with a smoke through the stairs. A nifty little defuse off that fire. Rare Atom gear themselves up again for the next Lynn Vision onslaught attempt. They still got plenty of utility left to deal with any push, any which way. Ellie needs to find something towards his B site to try and draw some attention over, as A looks like it is still on the cards. The flashbang towards Advent, but Advent stays steadfast in his position, the barrel not sticking out. So Nelly has no idea, and Nelly gets cut down by the IGL of Rare Atom, and already this round is thrown into pandemonium, but Mercury not quite good enough for the kill onto Westmelon, who lives to fight another day with just 19 HP to his name. But A looks like it will be the play. Time is ticking away, and then Vision, they're forcing their way up vigorously towards this A site.
vigorously is the right word as they vigorously shake one another down. Oh, Westmelon, that is so good. Gets the Orpha taken clean out of his scope before getting himself taken down. That bomb is dropped in a horrid position now to try and recover. Advent tries to clutch in this one versus one. Zaka's not looking. Oh, dearie me. Advent with the clutch this time as well. That's 12-3. What a ridiculously dominant half of Counter-Strike from Rare Atom on something that's not even their map pick.
That is a 12-3 scoreline. That is the most dominant scoreline we've had in this entire tournament so far. As you can see from the shock, my hair's all over the place. I did not expect Advent, of all people, to be pulling off a 1v2 clutch against the star player of Lynn Vision. Although it appears that star has died long ago, and we're just seeing the remnants of it with that rating on HLTV, because Zaka has been playing relatively poorly through both days here. He played poorly yesterday, pretty much absent for the entire series, and so far, it's not looking good for him again. He doesn't even check his corners as he walks on through, and despite having the bomb, he decides to force the affair anyway, not switching over to a rifle, which would have been an easier weapon to adapt to the situation with, but he sticks with the big green, and with that, he sticks his barrel out, allowing Advent, who misses the jump on top of the, whatever you call it, the little tarpaulin over in the corner, still has enough time to turn around, see the barrel, and kill Zaka. That is a very, very awkward finish, especially after all the effort that Westmelon and Starry put in to make that fourth round on the board possible.
Yeah, it was a really good half from Rare Atom, and I think the way I can encapsulate it, more than just the couple of clutches we saw at the end, is just in quite simple terms, it's discipline. They were just disciplined today. Yesterday was mistakes, hesitation, looks like they weren't completely buying into what the in-game leader was saying, that kind of thing. Meanwhile, today, they look disciplined, they look like they're all doing exactly what the in-game leader is suggesting they do. They're trusting Advent's reads on the game, and they're playing together, playing well. The amount of times we've seen Advent alone on that B site in that first half there, just waiting for some assistance. He's like, guys, please, I need to smoke myself. I've got flashes thrown in. I can't see anything. All of a sudden, a quick JamYoung comes over the top from middle. He's ready to help him out. He's like his guardian angel, and he just gets it done. It was really, really beautiful to watch there from Rare Atom. They look like a completely different team today, and I hope to see it continue in this second half as well.
Another thing to note about that B-site hold, though, they've clearly done their homework, because that is where Lynn Vision was allowed to abuse them on that T-side, especially early doors. And looking at it now, they have never just left one player on that bomb site. And Advent has been so much more fluid on the site as well. He's been playing up close and personal. He's had his teammates flash him in so he can find a frag towards the stairs, even catching players running away because they're still blind because of how effective this utility has been. And Advent has bought so much time for rotations just by not dying like he did yesterday. He would be instantly one-tapped 2 out of 3 times as he was looking down that B site. And now as a far more potent anchor, just staying alive, allowing for the rotations, dancing around and staying hidden, allowed to be that pincer maneuver to ensure that if they do clear out both of the players towards Electric, towards CT, he can step in, find a quick spray down and allow the round to still be won off the back of great strategy. It's as you said, he's leading by example today, and people are definitely listening to the calls. And now that Lynn Vision are shaken, they are playing so scared in comparison to what they were doing yesterday, to the point that they're sticking together and they don't have that mid lurk and they're being overrun time and time again.
Yeah, 100%. Every single time it's that mid pressure that comes on through, it just doesn't seem to work out properly for them. I mean, we saw it earlier on, the one round in which they did try that mid pressure. They had Starry come up through the ladder and they had Westmelon sitting back on generator, watching for any push. Westmelon then throws a flashbang, Starry comes out, gets a kill, and they get mid control and they win the round. But this time around, they don't do it. They don't do it 1 round out of 15, or at least any time that they did try and attempt something similar, they were thwarted because there wasn't the same aggression. The solution yesterday that Rare Atom tried to formulate to come up with the mid-lurk, mid-aggression problem was to fight fire with fire. Today, they were just saying, you know what, you can have it, you just have to walk into our crosshairs to get it.
Yeah, they had a great crossfire as well. They were stacking JamYoung in towards middle and Mercury in towards elevators. So that crossfire as they walked straight on out resulted in maybe them getting the first kill. But as we saw already, Mercury with that A1S spray down catches 2 off guard. The B player comes on backwards just so he can help out should they lose that second mid fight. And yeah, just a great set of team play from Rare Atom here. And there's a reason that they don't ban Vertigo. It's now looking like it's their playground rather than Lynn Vision's. And whatever Lynn Vision envisioned, it's certainly not looking as good as it did yesterday. I'm hoping they can piece themselves back together after what was a crushing defeat in this first half. Because again, this is the grand final of the Chinese qualifier to the Asian RMR. This is not what you should be showing if you want to be getting to a major, especially when you want to be competing against Brazilian and European teams who will just decimate you if you play like this.
Well, by the sound of things, I think we're getting pretty close to the start of this second half. I don't know how optimistic I would feel about it, though, if I was a Lynn Vision fan, based on that first half. Things do change, of course, though. Lynn Vision now move on to the CT side, which is where they were very successful yesterday. Of course, their T side was still quite good. Not good enough to be good today, but maybe there's still something from their CT side they have left locked away deep inside the locker, and they can potentially look to try and pull it out and win with it later on. So, ready to rock and roll? Let's get into this second half. Here we are for the second half of Vertigo in this Chinese RMR Close Qualifier Grand Final.
Oh man, I'm excited. Lynn Vision, probably less so than me, but it will be the CT start for them. Nelly's got 2 flashes. And the defuse kit also could come in handy. Nelly, that's a great shot to start things off. Advent immediately removed. His reign of terror finally put to an end. Not something you normally say about him, but Starry, that is 2 very fast frags. Impressive stuff from the young gun as Kaze is forced away out of middle. And Mosaic, well, he's trying to deal with Starry alone on the B site. Does eventually find that scalp to Vitali. Spins around for X-Pro coming up the rear. And then gets cut down by Nelly once again. A kingpin in this pistol so far, leaving just poor old Kaze, the Malay man himself, in a very tough position. Can we have another 1v4 from Kaze to seal away this pistol round? Rare Atom have done it before, against G2 nonetheless. In fact, no, I'm telling a lie. Lynn Vision did it before against G2, with Starry finding an ace in the second pistol. He'll be denied of that this time. And it looks as if Kaze won't be able to do the same on back. Look at the crossfires they've got on B. This is menacing, and the bomb is just tempting him into that trap that has been laid.
You must resist temptation, though. As round the corner, here comes Kaze, looking desperately to try and put his gaze upon that bomb. Lay his gaze upon potentially some CTs who are looking quite angry at him. That's 2 headshots, a third on the offering, but Westmelon shuts it down. Well done for Lynn Vision, finally getting that pistol round on the board. They've split the pistols with Rare Atom, which is nice to see. That could give them a little bit of an easy start, a free-flowing start into this second half. Something that they quite desperately need in order to keep up the pressure. Start trying to build that momentum, snowball into the game a little bit, start to feel it out more, and then eventually strike really hard and nail this game on down.
Yeah, there was no force buy this time for Rare Atom, despite what Lynn Vision did against them in the first half. X-Pro looking to improve his kills of 2 against some of these weaker players. Kaze, apparently it's pronounced kaze. I don't know if we should start now, or should we stick with Kaze?
It's too late for that now, brother.
Well, sticking with Kaze, he's down to 26, but does good damage to the star player of Westmelon. But it's gone a bit quiet again on the western front, or on the A site front, I should say. As X-Pro will be going to hide behind sandbags, and Rare Atom don't actually have any utility to clear him with, so that will be a bit of a nightmare scenario should they continue towards the top of A. Starry, nice position of his own, just waiting for Mosey to mosey his way on in. And Nelly is there with the crossfire. This should be a fairly easy said and done round. So whilst this gets underway, what do you think are some conditions that Lynn Vision need to meet in order to actually come back into this game?
I really think it's got to just be snowballing it. They've just got to feel it a little bit more, get confident with the game, feel their own playstyle back out, and continue playing their own game. They're being made to play the Rare Atom game so far in that first half, where Rare Atom just backed off after showing initial pressure and then made them walk into them. That's them forcing their hand. If Lynn Vision can then get to a point where they dictate control, they dictate the tempo, then they could turn this one around. But I say could very hesitantly because just Rare Atom right now, the fragging output is there. Everybody is firing off. It is going very, very well for almost every player. I mean, even Advent is contributing. So that's how you know that things are going exceptionally well for them. Mercury is desperately looking for the head of X-Pro, and when he gets an opportunity to see it, he turns his attention. His gaze goes over to Westmelon, who Advent strikes down in response. So a 2-frag exchange brings it to a 4-on-4. It's going to be a tough old situation for Rare Atom to try and formulate a response to, because there are rifles up still.
There is 3 FAMI.
Oh no, yeah, you're steaming, I can tell. I can hear the anger, the rage in your voice, seething.
Can't believe it, man. Can't believe it. Why would you bring 3 FAMASs to a party?
It was 4, actually. Westmelon had one too.
It's just not on. There's a reason Westmelon died. It's that bloody FAMAS. But X-Pro decides not to pick up an AK-47 drop before him on ramp. Doesn't want to give any sound cues as he pushes through the back lines of Rare Atom. This could be a shutdown moment for X-Pro. And finally give him some confidence back as both a fragger and an IGL. He's 2 in 13 right now. That is a miserable scoreline to be having regardless of your position. I would have made fun of Advent for it. I'm going to make fun of X-Pro for it as now the util rains on down towards his B site. Still, the flank has not been detected, and Advent, the last man towards the site, has the bomb. Starry, great kill to Mosea. He's being spammed down through the box, but X-Pro finally activated. Will not spot Kaze. It's not really going to matter. Kaze last alive in a 1v3 gets shut down nicely by Starry. And Lynn Vision, that is the kind of round that they need to be picking up. That's a great flank from X-Pro. It's a shame he could only find one, but it's not going to matter as there were plenty of fraggers still left on that B-bomb site to close things up.
Starting to look a bit better from Lynn Vision here. They had a read on that one, and the flank coming in was absolutely perfect. They waited appropriately and kind of bided their time on top of that B site. You saw it was, I think it might have even been X-Pro with the M4 in his hand, just not showing anything, not jiggling out, not taking any fights, just waiting for that flank to come on in. I think it was X-Pro that was flanking, actually, so my apologies on that one. But it just took the time. It just took their time. Waited for somebody to make a step, and then they just held themselves back in behind cover on site, drew the attention of Rare Atom, waiting for those peaks to come on out, and then the flank comes in, and then all hell breaks loose. So a very well orchestrated, a very well disciplined CT approach there from Lynn Vision. That's more like what we are used to seeing. Meanwhile, Rare Atom this time around are up onto the upgraded pistols, because they don't have the finances for much more than just that. Lynn Vision already finding the first frag. That's Westmelon over towards A ramp. Meanwhile, the mid pressure that they are so used to giving is being slightly more slackened off in this round because, well, they just want to. They don't want to give up any early advantages. If they go in aggressive to middle against these Deagles, they give away a rifle that they can't possibly retrieve. So let's maybe just play this one a little bit further back, boys. Let's use our heads and play with our brains rather than our hands.
Mosea, he certainly has hands. And Zaka has caught them, but Nelly is quick to shut things down again. As we sit quietly in this 2v4, X-Pro is in a fantastic position once again, as there is no utility to deal with him. But it appears JamYoung still wants to give it a go, as he's going to creep up right behind X-Pro, who doesn't give a damn, quickly 180s, gets a deagle for his troubles, and that's a convincing 7th round on the board for Lynn Vision. They're building up an economy in the meantime as well, just like where Atom were allowed to do, because they have 4 players left alive. And there's only 5 rounds between these two teams here. With Lynn Vision's statistics on Vertigo, they're a pretty nifty CT-sided team. So if Rare Atom don't get their act together quickly, we could still be looking at a regulation victory. I don't want to jinx things. I don't want to read into things too early. But Rare Atom can't afford to rest on their laurels after a mere good half rather than a good game.
Absolutely. Your first half performance means nothing if your second half performance is terrible. Bearing in mind, Rare Atom only really have to get 4 rounds out of this, right? So that's 1 time they break the economy, they get 2 rounds for free, and they're right there knocking on death's door. Lynn Vision have a lot of work to do, a very uphill struggle, but that gap can close just as quickly as you opened it. Things can spiral out of control for the enemy too. It doesn't necessarily just have to be a Lynn Vision spiral downwards. Anyway, at present, Rare Atom lie in wait beneath the A site. They're going to start making their way up there now as smoke on towards the sandbags. That's going to deny some vision on the headshot angle, trying to bait them into thinking there may be some more forward pressure onto the ramp. But unfortunately for the CTs, they're not going to be afforded such a luxury. They're going to play back, and I'm not even sure whether they actually feel too assured in their assumption that it is going to be towards this A site. I think Zaka, now getting a tad more aggressive, wants to go towards elbow. Here's a step to his left, fires the shot off. The flashbang comes in and obscures his vision, and he can't get the second, but he wasn't far off of it. Spam now coming on through. A well-placed HE grenade, or Spam here would be perfect, and who better to deliver it than West Melon, as he now looks for another one. A shot over the top from X-Pro, as now the rest of the team start to come to his aid. Down by his side, players shooting, players firing, but here's Kaze. He's got a lot on his plate, and he's looking hungry, but now it's all up to Advent. A 1 versus 2, he's done it before. He can most certainly do it again. Bomb being tapped, but no defuse started, and he emerges from the smokes and gets himself taken out. So that's another round for Lynn Vision. That's 8-12. The gap now just 4.
If he'd have pushed that smoke literally a second earlier, he would have caught a player with a Molotov in his hand. If he had pushed that smoke a few seconds later, it might still have been a more advisable move. But just as that Molotov got thrown, the position is checked. And also Zaka, a great start with an incredible flick shot on the AWP, pushing people back down the ramp and delaying the plant even further. This poor old X-Pro gets decapitated at long range. He's really having a rough game here, but thankfully Westmoreland is once again stepping up to the table, allowing an alleviation of pressure on the rest of his squad mates. But Rare Atom, they're back towards the A ramp here, and they've had very limited success thus far. In fact, they've had no success thus far, because they haven't put a round on the board on their T side, and honestly, that is where it really matters. Great kill from Mosaic to entry though onto Starry. He was starting to become a nuisance as he got himself into the game, but Nelly going to miss a lot of shots onto Advent here. We'll have a good idea that Mosaic is still on top of the site, and the Molotov doesn't quite go deep enough. That could be a great lurk position for Mosaic to activate from in just a couple of moments as Nelly backs away towards CT. Vision have no idea that Mosaic is still waiting here patiently, and they've given up full B presence. But that might not matter, as it looks like A is still on the cards for Rare Atom. What just happened there from Kaze?
I have no idea.
Staring at X-Pro, doesn't fire the shot, and now Zaka pulls one off instead. Okay, thankfully Mosaic's lurk roll has just been activated. He's cleared out the entire B site for this Rare Atom side. But if Mosaic goes down, this could still be a tumultuous situation to try and claw out of. Advent needs to go and look behind, as it does appear that there's one player below. It's quite hard to tell with this mini-map. But either way, Rare Atom, they've got the post plant they require, and it is still an even mounted scenario. Can Mosaic cut off this CT player, Nelly?
It's going to be tough. Mosaic gets the spray. Oh, he's expecting more, but they don't come. And now he gets himself caught out. Now it's JamYoung with Advent in assistance in a 1 versus 2. The bomb's ticking down, though. It's too far gone. Never mind. Zaka had a good effort and a nice flick shot to end it out, but unfortunately for he, that's a Rare Atom T round, the first of them. It's a rare commodity, but it has been found. Now, if they can find another, the money of Lynn Vision might be looking just a tad fruity. So let's just keep it nice and fresh for the moment. And let's just not get too far ahead of ourselves. Starry, despite having decent enough money for an A1S, elects to go for the FAMAS. Not sure. I think if I do my mental maths, there is enough money for AM4 there with the reduced cost of the A1S still. I think.
2,250 plus 900. Yes, there is.
Yeah. So why not? But I don't know. Maybe Starry just really likes the FAMAS. Maybe he just is an absolute antithesis to your Church of Anti-FAMAS ideology.
He might be keeping a little bit of extra bank for an AWP, but that seems unlikely. Maybe he just miscalculated how much his util would cost, as I have done many times in the past, because boy, am I bad at maths. That's why I talk funny for a living, rather than do the scribbly, calculatory, numbery thing. But numbers are important in Counter-Strike, especially when coming to stat lines, round counts, and that bomb timer. And, well, Mercury is certainly quieting himself down for the day. He used up all his crazy explosion of energy in that first series, where he demolished Wings Up across 2 maps. Thankfully, there are people to pick up the slack, and this is the most even spread of kills we've seen on Rare Atom at all this entire tournament. Everybody is still performing to a great level, and that is a nice kill for Mercury as soon as I start to call them out. But X-Pro's good for a refrag, and that too looks far more friendly as a 9 on his scoreline. Time is still ticking away, though, as Rare Atom still want to potentially commit up this A-ramp, but X-Pro is continuing to keep them at bay as a one-man army. Dancing around behind those sandbags, jumping around, avoiding sound cues because of the height differentiation, but as he sees them push that smoke, he has to just fall away. He sees that there's far too many of them, and flashbangs used a lot better in this round than they were in the previous by Lynn Vision, who actually blinded the first man swinging in from CT, allowing the opening kill to come in for Rare Atom, and that's why they lost round number 21, or at least in part. But still, A-ramp is contested, but very, very slowly by both teams.
This contest seems to be going on for quite some time as well. Like you say, it's a different and difficult affair. They're making it just dragged out, drawn out, painful. Zaka ready. Surely this peak's going to come in. He spots the player jumping up, finds the shot. Second.
Oh my God,
goodness!
Zaka!
That is so fast. That is beautiful from Zaka. And he lives to fight another day. Kaze and Advent now have to try and make it work alone in a 4 versus 2. Sure, the utility usage thus far has been good to purchase them some space in towards this A site. The bomb plant coming in as well. Kaze is going to start taking damage from that, or is he in just a neat little corner where he doesn't get tagged by it? It would seem that is the case. Drops the smoke to cover his escape. Up close and personal, the spam is not good. And now Kaze just lies in wait. They're going in with a knife, and they found him in the end anyway. But good lord, that was getting very touch and go for a moment.
Absolute hero play from Zaka towards short, though. That was menacing. That apparently doesn't count as a no-scope, but it bloody well should have, because that had not scoped in on the AWP. Just impeccable second shot. If he doesn't land that, then we have problems. But Rare Atom gets shut down by the man himself. That is why, on a good day for Zaka, he is classed as the star Orper, the star of this team. 2 years, 11 months of culmination on this LVG lineup. That's what we get from him when it matters most. And with that, what could have been a 6-round gap remains at only 4. He's patiently waiting for aggression towards the top of ramp, as they are seriously lacking in util right now on that Rare Atom side. And without the util that they were given in the previous round, he certainly would not have remained alive as long as he did. That wouldn't have even been a question in the round. Regardless of that, they're still looking hungry for this 14th round on the board. A very evasive one at that. And also to deny Lynn Vision double digits, which after the first half of this game, you'd be forgiven for thinking they wouldn't be afforded as such. Still waiting for Westmelon, and does land the tag, but it's not enough to find the kill. So still a 5v5, and with Advent on the Tech 9 with all of their utility, it'd be nice if he could be given a gun at some point soon.
Most certainly would. It's 5 versus 5, straight up a jousting match is about to commence, and that seems far more interesting than anything else. Kaze does happen to land the third shot before the smokes plume, but Zaka, in response, in kind, is great. There's Mercury back on the entry, just like we saw in the first series of the day, where he was absolutely electric on that roll. That's 2 frags for him. That's more than enough to secure this round, I'd imagine, for Rare Atom. This 2-player retake is just not feasible, I don't feel. They don't have the money in residual cash either, so it is absolutely imperative that they stay alive, and you are right. Grab the AWP and run. Rare Atom have got this round in the bag. It is 9-13. It's about to be 9-14, and that will soon be all she wrote for it.
Yeah, bomb just ticking away here. Nelly needs to make sure they escape. They've already got the head armor, so that's not the main issue here. Yeah, they keep hold of their weapons, and Advent actually stays alive as well, after expending all of the utility and bagging himself an AK-47. Impressive stuff through and through there from Rare Atom. They make the most of a bad situation, and it almost seems like they play with more confidence and less hesitancy when they know they don't have the util to back up their plays. And I'm super glad we got to see Mercury be the kingpin behind that push. He manages to find that all-important entry, and off the back of it, things spiral very quickly for Lynn Vision. And things spiral further for Lynn Vision, as would you look at the buy they have now. basically a denial of 15 for Rare Atom is the aim here. And JamYoung, well, his aim is to stay alive as they all mow him down through middle. Starry, only good for the trade after 2 of his teammates have fallen prey to that initial AK. And that's really not going to help things, especially when the buy is so drastically poorer than that of the side of Rare Atom. Also, kaze, 22 and 14 right now, as JamYoung goes 21 and 15. I'm glad to see our dynamic duo still showing up for the final map of the day, or the final series of the day, as Mercury, very lucky not to have been shot initially there by Zaka, and the timing has blessed Mercury as Zaka pushes seconds too late to shoot him in the back.
Just a tad too late, but the timing still could be fortuitous here. Remember, this round is of the utmost importance for Lynn Vision Gaming. Oh, X-Pro just looks away at the wrong moment. Now he gets his head removed. That surely forces the save out of the remaining 2 Lynn Vision players. They cannot possibly conceive of a world in which they have to fight for this, and Mercury is making them sweat for it. Thankfully, it seems as if Starry's going to have that one nice and sorted, despite the fact that he does miss a considerable chunk of the spray. The headshot still falls out, and Rare Atom will still fall their way onto 15 rounds, and the money was definitely not going to be there if they didn't save these 2 rifles. These 2 weapons are absolutely integral to the success of the Lynn Vision side, and more to the point, maybe not even success anymore, more integral to their survival at this stage.
You know what's crazy? If Rare Atom win in the next round, they will have delivered Lynn Vision Gaming a more dominant scoreline than they delivered Tai Lu in the series in which they massacred them with a 2-0 at the start of this tournament. And that's after Rare Atom got 16-11'd by Lynn Vision yesterday. It is very clear that they've gone away and done their homework for this matchup, because they are still managing to outplay Lynn Vision, and they are still managing to brutalize Zaka. Despite the fact he's had a couple of really nice moments on that AWP, his impact outside of, I'd say, 3 rounds has been obsolete. X-Pro, despite his low kill count, has at least had a couple of rounds where he's found that all-important impact. And Westmelon, he's been trying his best to lug the lifeless corpse of this team across, but Zaka, that is good impact from him there. A nice opening kill towards Mosaic on B, as a faster play from Rare Atom does get shut down where it stands. Advent, though, a lover of the B-bomb site, it seems, is eager to still try and push the affair towards those B stairs, but I don't think that's a wise decision with that smoke still in bloom, and Advent responsible for taking the bomb to join up with the rest of his squad. Still plenty of time left on the clock. Envision, there's still plenty of time for everything to go drastically wrong, drastically quickly.
Not going to happen by the looks of things, as Westmelon gets that second frag of the round onto Mercury. A very important one too. So what's next for Lynn Vision squad? What can they get out of this one now? Ideally, it would be to take away all of these weapons, upgrade that FAMAS on Nelly, and just get going with it. But I fear that might be a little bit too far of a reach at the moment, as Lynn Vision just need to wait to see what Rare Atom are going to be able to do. Rare Atom are now starting to angle towards this bit of a mid-take. I'm assuming there's going to be some utility to try and dislodge. In fact, it's all just jump spot. It's all on contact. That's, like, very odd if you ask me, but Rare Atom are going to try and find a way to make it work. There's some of the utility, and they're now going to renege on their earlier promise to go towards this middle area. Instead, they're just dipping down. Straight to the save, or is it straight to the site? And I think it's straight to the former of the two.
Just no time left to get anything to work there against the superior buy and superior manpower of Lynn Vision there. It's a wise decision. They've got a very nice crossfire in towards the T-spawn, and with just how dire the CT economy is right now, they cannot afford to go on the hunt. What X-Pro is doing is already dangerous. With that, that's 10 on the board for Lynn Vision. It is now double digits, and they're not done fighting for this title just yet. There we go. A nice reinvestment coming in here for both teams. It will be a gun round. Nelly opting to get rid of that bloody FAMAS brings an A1S to the table, as they want as strong a buy as physically possible coming into what will be a decisive round in this game, in this series. Because if Rare Atom take Lynn Vision's map pick, that's where things start to get scary. Taka, again, blinded off of that entry frag, and Advent now ready to try and trade with Mosaic. Starry gets his head cleanly taken off by Mosaic in that instance, as the util continues to rain on down, Rare Atom may slow their pace. They don't need to push towards B just yet. They've got a minute and 30 left, and they know exactly that. As kaze goes for the lucky wallbang shot, and decides that B should be where they attempt to end things up.
It should be, but with this 5 versus 4, players starting to rotate on over, there's a contingent, a little splinter squad currently, number 7 and number 9 if you look at your minimap, starting to have a little bit of a reaction over towards the A ramp position. They're having a nosy, and they're just checking whether there is going to be anybody to do anything about this if they do decide to still back towards A. Yeah, they have a bit of purchase over here on the B site at present, but they don't seem to have really much more than that as Nelly swings out and finds the frag. That's surely going to be the starting pistol for this rotation in towards the A site. I'm surprised that JamYoung and company didn't really get as much scouting out of this as they'd have wanted to. They haven't really figured out if there is a lot of space just yet. They seem to be still waiting to figure out where anybody is. It's all on contact. Molotov in towards the sandbags, and there's the first. X-Pro taken down. But here's Westmelon. Okay, only just the one for Westmelon. JamYoung adjusts quickly now through the smoke. Zaka, what lies in wait, finds the first shot. We know how good he can be up close with this weapon. Not good enough at the longer range. Nelly, 1 versus 1. kaze is his opponent. The kit on Nelly might be enough to secure him this round if it does dwindle on down. kaze just waits. kaze just waits. He holds his nerve. He doesn't peek on the first tap. Here's the jump on the second. Into the AWP scope he goes, and into the doldrums. Rare Atom sends Lynn Vision. That is a 16-10 victory on Lynn Vision's map pick.
That is such an important win here for the Rare Atom boys. They struggled viciously against Lynn Vision yesterday on this pick of Vertigo, the map pick of LVG. And now that they've got the confidence behind them to have everybody performing at a great level, they're able to swoop things under the rug as of yesterday.